it might help you. There's highlighters in the box if you need them, or you can underline and pencil if that's your choice. We're going to go through this, and tomorrow is the vocab test.
I'm going to ace the vocab test. I'm going to fail.
Now, I did change 6.21's due date to tomorrow because we're going through it. So today we're going to go through as many of these as we can. What we don't get done, we'll do tomorrow after the vocab test. No. This is the surface area practice. It's up there, it says review. So, yes, ma'am. Okay, so we're going to, and I have these out so you can look at these. Please don't destroy them. I have a bunch more. They're kind of cool. I'm going to have to buy me a set. How about you focus? So we're going to go through these. Your job is to ask questions. There's a few of you in here, so if I don't see your face, even though I'm trying to, you got to ask me questions because I'm not a mind reader. I tried. I don't understand teenage minds. It just confuses me.
But you've been a teenager once.
No, I've never been a teenager.
Really?
I skipped that whole thing. Somebody asked me really.
I wish I would have.
No. It's part of your life.
You're so smart.
Okay. What's wrong? So, if you don't talk, the minute you talk, you move back to where Bryce was. That's fine. So, we've got, number one says, 3 students draw a net for a cube with a surface area of 96 square inches. Anytime I got numbers, I know those are going to be important. Determine which of the nets below are correct. If not correct, describe the error. Okay, so I have 3 nets. And they're telling me I have a cube with a surface area of 96 square inches. What is unique about a cube?
It has all the same
Measurement.
All the faces are the same. Every face is a square, right? How many faces are on a cube?
4, 5.
Come on.
6.
Think about it. It's 6, right? So there are 6 sides. Everyone got that? So there are 6 sides. If we know that 6 sides equal 96 square inches, how do I find out what each side equals? Divide by what?
6.
What do I divide by? What do I divide by what?
96 divided by 6.
96 divided by 6. That'll give me this. That'll give me the square inches for each face.
Wait, what? You don't have to put the cube or the square?
Right here?
Yeah. You don't have
No, because I just want to find out how many square inches. How many square inches are on each side? There are 6 faces. I want to know how many square inches are on each face. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what is 96 divided by 6?
16.
16. So each face has 16 square inches. How do I find the area of a square? It's the area of a rectangle, but it's unique.
3.14.
There is no 3.1. Circles deal with 3.14. Area of a square.
Base times height.
Base times height. But what do we know about a square?
All the sides.
So it's the same, right? We used to say, and you'll get this when you get geometry, the area equals side squared. One side squared, right? So if area equals side squared, that means some number times itself equals 16. 4. Very good. So each side is 4 inches long. You buy that?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What doesn't make sense? So I broke this down. I started with 96 square inches. They said it was a cube. That made my life pretty easy. I just divided it by 6. I got the square inches for each side. Then I figured out what number times itself equaled that. In this case, it was 4. What? Oh, well, let's look. Why do you say it's not Lisa?
Because it's 6.
Yeah, this is too big.
Oh,
They all 6s, and that's too big.
It's the Wanda.
Let's look at Tom's. Now, look at Tom's. Will this fold up and make a cube?
No.
Why not?
No, it will.
It's
Yes, it will, because it has 6 sides.
No, because these two sides, when they fold up, they'll come together. It'll make a box, but not a cube, right? Because the bases have to be on opposite sides to make it work.
It's definitely a Wanda.
So it's not this one. This is not a cube. This is a box, but it has an open top. You can stick toys in it that way.
Oh, okay, I see.
Now look at Yolanda's. Right size, does the show them. Does the net make a cube?
Yeah.
Yes. You like those? I need to buy me a set.
But I need the cylinder whenever.
So this one's the happy one.
There is no cylinder.
Yeah, there's one over there.
Like circle it like it is with the correct.
Where?
Instead of putting a happy face.
If Kaylin pays attention.
Can I
get one, Mr. Wheeler?
It's in there. Don't take off her markers.
Yes.
There's a couple others in there. Don't take off her markers on the one.
It's a cone.
It is. It shows you. They're kind of neat. They show you how the net breaks out.
Christian, grab me one.
Listen. Listen. As we're doing this, I don't mind you looking at nets. Look at it for a couple minutes. Pass it on to somebody. Let them check it out. That way you understand how it fits together and makes the net. And that's what they're for.
Wait,
Exactly.
but I thought the circles were in the middle.
Does it matter? Why do I? She asked a good question here. She's got the net for a cylinder, and she said, but wait, aren't the circles in the middle? Does it matter if the circles are in the middle?
Nope.
I just draw it that way because it works for me. I don't draw a big T.
It looks like
You'll see on theirs, when they do the nets of the rectangular prisms, theirs are all T's. I don't draw the T because I found it was confusing. It made me have to label more sides than I wanted to.
you don't draw the T.
I draw the cross. I don't draw the T.
So then how do you spell the T after you draw it?
Ew.
All right, extra pun points for you.
Wait, I'm confused. You should give him a second.
Let's go on to number.
Quit being like. What's the pun?
Yeah, don't worry. Puns are only useful if they happen. Let's go on to number 2. Now, number 2 is a little more complex. Number 2 says, let me sure I got this. I got to bring it down here. It says, draw the net of a rectangular prism that has the same surface area as the triangular prism below. So I start out with the triangular prism, but I'm going to end by drawing a rectangular prism net.
Am I blind? Oh, found it.
Oh wait.
So
Please don't talk.
I want to draw a net. So I started out with a triangular prism, right? And I need to draw a rectangular prism with the same surface area. What's the thing I have to figure out? The surface area of this one, right? Now, they even made this a little hard. Let's talk about what is hard about this triangle right here. How do I find, I know I'm going to end up having to find the area of the base, right? This triangle is the base, right? What 2 things do I need to determine area of the base?
Length times base and height.
Base and height, but they didn't give me a height. Right? They did give me, and I got an isosceles triangle. So it's got the 2 measurements are the same. It's got a bottom, which means I can make a right triangle in there. Height is always based on a right triangle, so I can get a base and a height. When I have a right triangle, how can I figure out what this is right here, this height? How do I find it?
Base
half of 5.
times height.
No, come on. What kind of triangle is this?
Isosceles.
What kind of triangle is this?
Right, that's a right.
It's a right triangle. How do you find the unknown side of a right triangle?
You have to the A, B, C thing.
A squared plus B squared equals C squared. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Pythagorean Theorem. Well, let's look through. So we know that 5 is C, right? Because it's opposite the right angle. What's A?
8.
What's down here? Is it 8?
No, it's 4.
Why is it 4?
Because you're going halfway.
Because it's half of it. So 4 squared plus, I don't know what this is, do I? So I'm just going to leave it as B squared. 4 squared plus B squared equals,
C squared.
what's C?
8, 5.
It's the 5 squared. Now I can do this and work it out, or I can just use nsolve on the calculator, which is what I choose to do. So in your calculator, type nsolve 4 squared plus b squared equals 5 squared, comma b.
4 squared plus
Pythagorean.
Mm-hmm.
5 squared. I tried to talk fast, okay? I had some pancakes.
Keep your conversations on this. If I'm going too fast, say something.
Mine too. I'm so excited. I get to leave early tomorrow.
I just made a punch.
I'm depressed.
I know what it is.
Found the answer.
I'm going on the bus. Oh, yeah.
It's in the box.
Mary, you got an answer for us? What do you got?
3.
3. This is one of those common perfect right triangles. 3, 4, 5. In fact, it's the most common used one. I almost guarantee on your STAR test there'll be a right triangle with 3, 4, 5. Why? Because it's easy. We did. Because we had 4 squared plus b squared equals s squared. Anytime you have the variable mixed in, nsolve is a good
I
choice.
thought that was 5 squared.
5 squared. What did I say?
You said S.
Sorry. 5 squared. And our b is right in the middle, right? So remember, comma b. 3. Now, we have all our measurements. We can now find the surface area real easy. We're going to use that yellow sheet you have. If I got that right there. What is the surface area? Get out of there. What's the surface area of a prism? Ladies, focus. Yes, you're the one playing go-between between them. Okay? So, yeah, the nets keep moving around, but don't let it become so distracting you're not listening. You may not wear it as a crown. Every girl needs a tiara that's not yours. Okay. So, what is the formula for the surface area of a prism? We need total surface area. Read right on that yellow sheet. What does it say the total surface area equals? S equals pH plus 2b. Big P, P equals the perimeter. P equals perimeter. What does a perimeter mean?
The outside of it.
The outside. If you guys are running, you always run the perimeter. They get angry if you run the diameter or something less. Because it has you cut across the field. Okay? So, to get the perimeter always comes from the base. In a triangular prism, the perimeter is always the triangle. In a rectangular prism, the base, or the
Base times height.
the perimeter always comes from the base that's on the ground. Right? So we're going to run around our perimeter. So we run this way, we get 5. Plus 8, which is
13.
plus 5.
15. 18.
18.
So S equals 18 times the height, and that's the other measurement on your prism.
9.
What's the other measurement right here?
8.
Plus 2 times, what does big B mean?
The base.
Not the base. What is big B?
Because you know what?
The area of the base. What kind of base do we have?
A triangle.
So what's the formula for the area of a triangle?
Equals 1/2.
A equals
1/2
BH.
base times height. That's little b, right? So it's the base of this triangle.
8.
8 times the height of this triangle.
3.
3. All right, go solve.
Do we just enter it like that?
Yep. Because your variable is on the left side all by itself with the equals, you just type it in.
Okay, so do we do end solve?
You don't need end solve unless your variable's mixed in.
You have to put S.
No.
Just she.
Only put the right side of the problem. Don't break it.
Yeah, and then you break it.
I never break it.
Okay.
Times 3, just like I said over there.
It is 18 times 8 plus 2 times 1/2 times 8 times 3.
Is it squared? Got it.
Wait, how did we get 3?
Is it squared?
What is the height of this triangle?
It's not.
Oh, 3.
Yeah, we determined that.
Is it squared?
There's nothing squared in there.
So did you just subtract 8 from 5 to get the height?
Is it 1?
No.
We don't know.
We did a right triangle. We solved for this right triangle.
Oh, yeah.
Shh. What'd you get, Christian?
158.
Christian got 158.
It's not 50. Wait,
It's 68.
168.
You don't even know.
What'd you get?
That's what I got.
Which one?
168.
It's 68.
Was that just what I tried to do?
I got
168.
Did he not do plus 2?
I don't know. All right. So now it says we have to draw a net of a rectangular prism. So let's draw our net. It's my lovely net of commonality. I never draw another net that looks different because I'm boring.
He doesn't cheat on his other net.
This is my net. Yes, that's right. So I have to draw a rectangular prism net. I always draw it like this because it saves me labeling outside. These are my bases. I'm going to go ahead and make them darker.
Wait, why did you draw a rectangular prism?
What did it say at the beginning of question 2?
Because, wait, couldn't any of the squares be the base?
Can any of the squares be the base? They can. However, these are mine. Now I will tell you that there's multiple prisms that would be correct. Here's generally how I do this. I make my base a square. When they give me something like this, because a square is so easy to deal with, does that make sense? And I'll generally pick a number out of here, and I'm actually going to pick 4. Well, it's half of 8. We used it as part of our thing. So I'm going to make my base 4 by 4. That makes my life real easy because everything here is 4, right? And the only thing I'm looking for is the height right here.
You said 4. Is it all just 4, 4, 4?
Yeah, because I made my base a square. It makes labeling the sides super easy. Does that make sense to you all? You can make your base a wide rectangle, but it's just going to mean a lot more numbers.
I'm so confused.
What are you confused about?
4.
How are you?
Never mind. It's all just 4, 4, 4.
Yeah, I just drew a net.
It could be any.
It didn't tell me any. Shh.
I don't get what this question's asking. Like, why
Listen.
It'll be around to you. Stop.
Yeah, why are you doing such?
It didn't tell me the size. It didn't tell me the sizes that I had to use in my net. I could use any number here I wanted. Now, why did I pick 4? Because it fits well within this realm of 3, 5s, 8s. It fits well. I could pick 5s. I would stick with a number that already exists in here because I know mathematically it's going to fit in that formula and give me a number that's cleaner. Okay?
Is this going to be on a star test?
Possibly. Listen. Shh. So I picked 4. And the reason I did that and made a square, it makes my whole sides easier. They're all the same. So, what is... Shh. What is the formula for the perimeter of a prism? For the surface area of a prism, sorry. What's the formula for the surface area of a prism?
pH. Oh, wait.
S equals pH plus 2B.
S equals pH plus 2B. Oops, big B. Well, let's go with what we have. And we'll fill in the parts. N solve becomes important here. Do I know what S is?
No.
Yes.
4.
It's what we found earlier.
Oh.
It's 168. So 168 equals, what's the perimeter of my base?
18.
4 plus 4
16.
plus 4 plus 4 is 16, right? Times, what's my height?
And 4.
Do we know what the height is?
No.
It's my h, right? Plus 2 times the area of the base. What's the area? How do I get the area of a rectangle?
Base times height.
Base times height. Well, what's the base?
4.
And the height?
4.
Now, this is one where you use N solve. 168 equals 16 times h plus 2 times 4 times 4.
What is in my egg?
Nothing.
Plus 2.
Because you just put 2 times. Just put 2 times 16.
You can. That's part of the reason you learn those things. You can always shorten these, but when in doubt, just type. Are you typing this?
Yeah.
Find h. Use N solve.
Can you just type it in?
N solve. 168 equals 16 times h plus 2 times 4 times 4. Jillian, you doing that? Lift up your head.
Calculator on this calculator?
Yep.
I swear it's just extra, Mr. Wheeler.
What'd you get? So Sierra got that the height equals 8.5. Did that work for everyone? We have now drawn a net. Could I have used other numbers here?
Yes. Could have used 3.
I could have done a lot of things. Does it matter in this case? No. Let's go on to number 3. Number 3 says a triangular prism has a right triangle. So it has a right triangle for a base. And the side lengths are 6, 8, and 10 meters. And the surface area of the pyramid is 240 square meters. Draw a net for the prism and label all its dimensions. So I need a net, right? Now this is a special kind of net. This is a right triangle net, so it'll have 3 places anytime you have a triangular, and it'll kind of look like a totem pole because these are right angles. So far, so good? So, no.
Senora! It's a joke, please don't kill me.
Oh, I thought he was going to take off his shoes and throw it.
Don't make him keep it.
Are you still throwing markers?
Okay, so let's look and start labeling. I got 3 measurements for my right triangle. I've got 6, 8, and 10. Which one of those is the hypotenuse?
6. No, it's 8.
10.
Why is it, I got, somebody said 6, somebody 8, somebody, which one is it?
10.
Why?
Because it's bigger.
Hypotenuse is always the largest, so that's 10, which also makes this side 10, because this side would fold up on this, right? And these other 2 sides are the other 2 measurements. Does it matter which one's which? No. So one's 8 and one's 6. Now it didn't give me the height, did it? But it did tell me the surface area is 240. Did tell me S is 240 meters. Oops, meters squared. This is an H.
Wait.
Height.
We're doing number 3.
We're doing number 3, right?
We're doing number 3.
Oh.
There's no space in 4, so yes, I'm doing it there.
The other way.
Shh.
Can I sharpen my pencil?
I don't know, can you? There's a sharpener in your box. Okay, so how do I find out what H is? Mary, sit up.
What?
That won't help me, will it?
Make an equation.
What do you mean make an equation?
You set it up to where you can
Why is there other talking here when she's talking? You set up an equation for what we know, right? We know the surface area, don't we? we know that surface area equals
B something.
perimeter times height plus
base.
2b.
Yeah, that one.
Big B or little?
Well, we know what surface area is, don't we? What is it?
2B.
What's the surface area?
240.
240. Those of you who are having other conversations, this is why you have problems. What's the perimeter of the base? This is our base, right? What's the perimeter? What's 6 plus 10?
16.
Plus 8?
12.
24.
24. Times height, which we don't know what it is.
So
Plus 2. That's the one we don't know, right? That's what we're really looking for.
times 8.
Times the area of the base.
Base times height.
Well, is this a rectangle?
No.
So is the formula for a rectangle the same as...
Is
1/2.
This is a triangle. It just looks...
1/2 B.
1/2. So 2 times 1/2 times base, which is 8, times height, which is 6. Find h. Huh? Yes. Go spit your gum out.
Yes. She's not too. You want a cashew?
No.
You want to catch these dad jokes?
Okay.
Is that 8.6 or 8 times 6?
8 times 6. Where did I get... Sarah, I got my numbers off the side here. Base times height. So put those in. Do your insult.
Is that a book?
24h plus 2 times 1/2 times 8 times 6. Hold on. I'll let you give it off in a moment.
No, can I get
Wait,
it all?
wait.
No.
I think Kaylin should do it. No, I shouldn't.
I think you should start doing it.
Sure.
I'm thinking of throwing you out the window.
Where's your calculator?
I don't have any.
I have the answer.
Where's the duck?
Caleb, where's your
know.
calculator?
Oh yeah, Randy.
Go get a
Oh
calculator.
yeah, Randy.
Stupid.
Oh yeah, Landon.
Kaylin, you are submarining yourself.
It's not Landon.
All right, Rancy, what you got?
She's her own woman.
Rancy, what you got? 8. So the height is 8.
8.
All right, let's go on to number 4.
Oh no. 54.
So number 4 says, what is the surface area of the rectangular prism shown in the figure? So I've got a rectangular prism, right?
Yes.
What's the formula for surface area?
Based on height.
S equals pH plus 2b.
My head is.
So the base on a rectangular prism is whatever's on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Put the food away and participate. You're done with the food. If you won't participate, you're done with the food.
Because I'm done.
You're not.
I can't do
You have yet to turn on the calculator. Okay, then I'm proud of you. But you're done with the food.
I'm telling my mom.
Go ahead. All right. So let's look in here. Shh. Omar, don't throw those. S equals... Hey, focus. Think about the perimeter. So I'm running the perimeter. I run 7. I run another 9. How many have I run?
10.
7 plus 9
16.
plus 7,
22.
23.
23 plus 9,
31. 32.
32.
Wait, I just missed what happened.
We just
counted the.
went around the perimeter. We went 7 plus 9, because it's the same, right?
Oh.
Take it off your head. Plus 7 plus 9. So we ran the whole perimeter. We come up with 32. Times the height. The height is the other measurement.
9.
5.
5.
Plus 2 times area of the base. What's the area of a rectangle?
B8.
Base times height. There are too many conversations that continue. Okay, put that away. It's, what's the area of the base? It's not 5. The base is 9 times 7. So 2 times 9 times 7. Find the surface area. 32 times 5 plus 2 times 9 times 7.
I know it.
No, because your variable's over on the left side all by itself. You just have to type the right side in the calculator. The right side says 32 times 5 plus 2 times 9 times 7.
Hi, cold. I'm bad.
What'd you get, Kaylin?
Is that times 2?
Kaylin, what'd you get?
Win, not kiss.
Is it plus 2 or times 2?
Plus 2.
Okay, look at the formula. What'd you get, Kaylin? I-
286.
And that happens to be one of our answers, right?
I like this. This is
No.
easy.
I like. I see 400.
Okay, let's go to 5.
Are we done yet?
No, we got several to do.
I want to show the time.
Remember, we're walking through. The goal is to figure stuff out. If you're having another conversation, stop. I'm sorry.
My back.
So, obviously, no. If you need to, that's fine. But get your pass out. Put it up here.
She has to tinkle.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, draw a net for the rectangular prism. Then use the net to find surface area of the prism. Now, it says draw a net, then use the net. Do I have to use the net?
No.
No. Do I have to draw it? Go ahead and get it.
Yes.
I have to draw it because it says I have to draw it. So, it's a rectangular prism. I'm going to draw my standard lovely net. Bye, Mary. It'll be available on YouTube.
Adios, amigos.
You're recording this?
Yes, sir.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, you've been recording?
So, let's look at our net and let's label it. Remember, here's our base, right? The area on the bottom is our base, which means that those measurements go here. I'm going to put the first one here is 18.5,
We've been doing this for 32 minutes.
and the second one here is 49.4.
I'm just kidding. I love you. You don't love nobody.
Okay, once I put those in, it's look at your diagram. Fancy, look at the diagram. Those numbers are there. Now, what's the last number that goes here?
2.
2. Now, does my net have to be to scale?
No.
No, it didn't say draw to scale. I'm not using any of that. My nets, you'll find they always look like that. Okay, I've drawn a net, haven't I? I met that requirement. Let's find surface area. What's the formula for the surface area of a prism?
pH equals 2.
Oh, sorry.
pH plus 2b.
S equals pH
Oh, now you got me.
plus 2b. Yeah, I got ahead of myself. It's funny when I'm trying to think of a question to answer and I'll write down the answer as I'm thinking. So S equals pH plus 2b. So S, let's go to the perimeter. And this one you're going to want a calculator for, because it's all decimals. 49.4, I read the long distance, plus 18.5,
5.
plus 49.4,
Someone got really excited.
plus 18.5.
Is that a 5 or a yes? So come on.
This is our S's.
This is our S's.
This is our S's.
I think Miss Hong would be upset the way.
What did you get, Omar?
165.8.
What is it?
165.8.
165.8.
I got 130.
That's what I think it's in the 30s.
I did too. I got
I got
130.
135.5. Oh yeah, you're right. I put
135.5.
It's 0.8.
It is 0.8.
0.8. Yeah.
Thank you. I can see the 0.4.4. It's 0.8 times the height, which is
2.
2, plus 2 times the area of the base. Well, what kind of figure is this? It's a rectangle. How do we get the area of it? So base times height. So 2 times 49.4
There's a glare.
times 18.5.
It keeps going.
I got big
You wish.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, Catherine. But see, I know what you wish you had big ones.
Hey, Rainey, turn off that light back there.
Mr. Wheeler, how many subscribers do you have?
I don't check that. Is that better?
No.
Glare.
Okay, I'm trying. You'll just have to move around. So I've got 135.8 times 2 plus 2 times 49.4 times 18.5.
Oh my gosh, I'm not doing this. I cannot do this. You're stressing me out. Oh my god.
You can do it. Just type it in.
Stressing me out.
We've been doing this for 35 minutes.
Am I sitting inside?
I
I'm
started
just
to
gonna
lose
answer
my
for this one.
crap.
You hadn't even started when we were doing it. So you didn't even have a calculator for more than half the time.
Well, I still do it.
I got it.
What's the answer, Rhea?
2,2099.4.
What'd you get? 2099.4 meters squared.
This is what I got.
That's not right.
I'm glad I didn't say it.
All right.
Are we done?
No, we're going to go to number 6.
Wait,
How many numbers are there?
I feel like
there's 9.
I don't have enough time for
Yeah.
Can you stop? You're giving me really bad headaches.
Take yourself outside.
Really?
Take yourself outside.
Can I take this?
No, just leave it. It's not like you're using it. Go outside. Go on.
See how I work?
I'm proud of you. Go outside.
You were like, God.
All right.